Hi, it looks like we're live on Facebook, and I am so excited to do this training today on the roadmap to 10K months simplified. The biggest thing is it can be incredibly simple to make 10K a month. Now, I say simple, not necessarily easy. So I just want to break it down and make it 3 simple steps so that you can hit your goals. And I have some resources for you, of course, so that you can do some self-analysis, do some work, get some numbers, and make 10K months. That gets most people to that 6-figure year that is the tipping point for most entrepreneurs. More than 80% of entrepreneurs are not making 10K months or 100K years. And it's so important to reach that at a bare minimum because expenses are always rising and you will always have an issue with that. So I'm going to get right into the training. And again, this will just be 5 minutes and 3 simple steps to 10K months, oversimplified a little bit. So here we go. Just turn the slides on. And I also wanted to make sure that it's still doing the slides. Okay, I can crop this part out of the video. Anyway, so when you talk about 10K months, the other thing I just wanted to introduce, I'm Pam Phillips, founder of the Entrepreneur Community, and we are community entrepreneurs that give simple, easy training and give entrepreneurs a way to be in the directory, to network, to have other things. So if you logged in on Zoom, we get an opportunity to network and do Q&As after every training session. This is being streamed live so that other people can enjoy it and it gets to save in our archives of training. But if you're online, you get to stay on a network. So I hope that you will join the community and be part of our Q&A after these sessions. With that, I want to talk about step 1. It's really this simple. First, get to know yourself. You need to know yourself and your own understanding and relationship with money. The biggest thing is some of us think 10K months are reaching too high. Some of us think it's reaching too low. Some of us think that we're not worth $1,000 a day or 10K a month for somebody to pay us for what we do, sell, or have. Some of us believe we're worth 100K a month. You need to know yourself and really get to know it. I have a resource for you for that. This is incredibly important to get a good money mindset. That is number 1 for making 10K months. Most of people who don't make 10K months, it's because they haven't achieved it yet, so therefore they don't believe it's possible, or they prove to themselves they can't, or talk themselves into it. So with that, I have a resource I'm going to put in the notes, and it is the money biography. So it's a whole list of questions. It's a great list for you to do some self-discovery as far as your history with money, your relationship with money, your people around you, and what money they make. These are great questions. A lot of it is you, what you spend, what you believe, and how you regard money. I've always said if you don't like money, money doesn't like you. I heard that from somebody and I thought it was a beautiful statement. But I don't want to take too long on this. This is a great resource and I'm giving it to you in the links below. So understanding yourself and why. Why is so important. Why do you need 10K months? Is it to support your family? Is it to retire early? Is it to pay for your kids' college and or other expenses? Is it to help your family members out that are suffering through some other issue? Is it just to have more freedom? In other words, the bigger your why, the more important your why, the easier it is to achieve this. So the other part is know your minimum freedom number. In other words, know what it costs for you to live every month. Know what your rent, your basic expenses are. For some people, that's only $2,000 a month. For some people, that's $8,000 a month. So know that minimum number so you know what 10K means to you. So know your expenses, know what it takes to get your minimum expenses so you can either quit your job or at least bore you in your business. A lot of business owners are struggling or holding their breath because financially they can't support that minimum number. So it's really important to know that. Know your urgency. Do you need to do it this month? Do you need to have it before the end of the year? That's incredibly important as far as strategy. If you need it this month, you absolutely need to do some significant things this month. Ads, promotions, different events. If you don't have a ton of urgency, this is a goal for the end of the year or next year. You can do great things with SEO, with article writing, with peer and partnering. Those are great things to stepwise get into that 10K a month number. And then know your what and how. Do you sell a service item? Do you have a product item? Are you still in that discovery phase, or do you have things solidified? Do you have assets like a website to sell it on, e-commerce, otherwise? So you do not need a whole lot of fancy things. You can just send somebody an email and they can PayPal you, write a check. You don't need anything to sell a product or a service besides that product or service. But you need to know what that is. It's either skills and or physical items. So know your what and how. The next step is know your 80-20. If you've been in this game for a little while or you're just discovering it, find out what is that 20% of the market that does 80% of the sales. In other words, if you're in a product business that sells candles, find out whether it's the 3-ounce candle or the 20-ounce candle that does most of the sales for that industry or yourself. If you've been in business for at least a year, do this for your personal list of things you sell. And honestly, what we want to do is focus on your 20% that makes 80% of the money. You need to not stop doing the other 80%, but stop focusing on it. Focus on that 20% and your income will increase so much quicker. The other thing, break down the numbers. So in other words, if that 20% sells for $5, divide that by that 10K. And so you know how many you need to sell. Obviously, if it sells for $100, you need to sell 1,000. If you sell a service for $2,000, you only need to sell 5 of those to make 10,000. So you need to know what is the cost or the average sale of that 20%, and then how many of those you need to sell to make 10K. It's really that simple. If you sell a $1,000 item, you need to make 10 sales every month, which equals to about 2 to 3 sales a week. That is not that complicated. If you need to sell 1,000, that relates to about 200 to 300 a week. That's what you need to focus on. In other words, you need to sell 50 a day. How are you going to do that? Are you going to have one day a week you sell 200? That is okay, but you need to know how many you need to sell per month, per week, and per day so that you can make those goals. Next thing is take the action. So in other words, if you need to sell 50 a day, you better be online promoting and or doing ads, setting up a vendor's table at an event. If you're selling a $2,000 product, you need to be networking. You need to be doing Facebook ads. You need to be doing things that get that information out there. Make sure it's packaged. Make sure you have a great sales page. But the biggest thing is don't create content, sales, assets, images, all kinds of things without talking to customers. When I say take some action, talk to customers, get in front of customers. That is the only way to make sales. Last step, don't stop till you hit your goal. This is the #1 way to get to 10K, is not stop until you hit 10K months. So many of us get